nothing. No injury report.
No injury report today. Just,
And can you clarify what you said yesterday about Le'Veon's lack of involvement in the second half? You said you wanted to get.
We had 7 plays in the third quarter. He had 1 snap. Law had 3. We were 4 wide receivers, 1 tight end.
Right, but he didn't get a touch until 2/3 of the fourth.
That's football.
Do you want him back as your starting running back in 2020?
He's under contract for 3 more years. You can ask Joe tomorrow.
Do you want him back?
You can ask Joe tomorrow. I'm not the personnel. I'm not in charge of personnel.
How does the dynamic work this offseason, since it's your first offseason with Joe? I mean, how much input do you have into personnel decisions?
I mean, we're going to go through personnel meetings on Thursday and Friday. And then, we're talking through kind of how we're going to structure this and kind of how we go through everything. I've never done it with him.
how would you assess Sam's season?
I feel like we had some really good games early where it was kind of up and down. Felt like he was really consistent here at the end. Thought he did a good job with really kind of honing in on specific things he wanted to work on and got better at those things. And he did a good job protecting the football. We cut the turnovers way down. And I think we'll make a lot of strides in this offseason with some specific things that we're going to kind of put together. We'll be able to go back and watch the film.
Just going off of that a little bit, obviously this is 2 years in for him in 2 different systems. Next year will be his first chance to be in the same system 2 years in a row. What difference can that make for him, do you think?
Huge difference.
In terms of the jump?
Huge. It's a big deal when you go into the spring and you're not learning a bunch of new things. You're trying to get better with more of your technique, fundamentals, the verbiage and the offense and all those type of things. So you kind of know those. That's kind of by heart. And that's where you can make a lot of strides when you're working on.
Does that to some degree make, next year kind of every year's a big year, but kind of a big year for him to see how, he made some very good incremental jumps this year from last year to this year, but, maybe some people were expecting more, but maybe that's not fair because it's a new system. Next year, does that become maybe a little bit kind of a critical benchmark season for him to some degree
It's hard to say that because to me it's like you said, every year's a big year. It doesn't matter it's your first, second, third, 10th, 12th. I do think that he's going to look at this as whatever this year was for him when he goes back and reviews it. He's going to anticipate he's going to be better than he was this year. His whether numbers, wins, however Sam looks at it, because he's probably looking at wins because he never even talks about stats. Everybody else is going to look at rating and touchdown passes compared to interceptions and yards and all those things. So, I do think he'll look at it as he should make a big jump.
And Le'Veon came to you guys as one of the best players in the NFL. It's pretty, and you would agree with that, I'm sure. And you guys made a sizable investment in him, so why not show him some public support, some endorsement? I know that you don't.
I have all year.
Do you believe that, the offensive line was obviously pretty banged up this year with the injuries. The final numbers were like 11 different guys started, 9 different combinations. Do you believe that that stunted some of the progression that Sam could have made because of those struggles up front?
I don't think it helped us. I think it, when we were having a lot of guys moving in and out, it kind of made the communication. We just kind of had to get back on the same page. I think when Jonathan got back in there, it did kind of calm some things down a little bit. Just because he had been there earlier, there was a little bit of a rapport there. We kind of had a little bit of a reset, and then it was bumpy. And then when Jonathan got back in there, it helped us a lot.
You talked about Sam, you and Coach Lodge talked about Sam, how great he is at making plays off schedule when he's out of the pocket. Do you need to see him do a better job making plays off schedule in the pocket, go into secondary receivers, and going through his progressions when he's still in the pocket?
There has been times where we've talked through that of get off 1, go to 2 or 3, get to the check down from the pocket. I think that's something we're going to keep working on. That's something that we can get better at, because that is probably, I think sometimes he'll go to really kind of escape the pocket on his own instead of working through the progression. But that's sometimes what a young quarterback will do. And I do think there were times where he did do a good job of staying in there and working through his progression in the pocket. But that's something we can definitely work on this offseason.
Obviously, this isn't your first time as a head coach, but it's your first time as a head coach here. What did you learn from this experience this year that can help you moving forward in this role?
That'll be one of those things that I look at this offseason, just kind of reflecting back right now. It's not over for me yet, so I'll think about that later.
Adam, a lot of times when you have players that come into a team or around a team that have some of the credentials that Le'Veon does, they kind of have like that superstar mentality. They act like they're a little bit bigger. Can you just talk about what he meant to the team, what he was like with his teammates throughout the year?
He's just one of the guys, man. Just fit in, did what was asked, tried to do the right thing, try to help us just get first down, score points, win games. That's it. I mean, you know, when we kind of were transitioning with some of the linemen and stuff, he knew that we had to work on efficiency and we were going to lack some explosive plays, and he did a good job of just saying, all right, I know what you want. I know you want me to get 4 yards and just keep us ahead of schedule, and that's what he did.
He said that as he learns your system, that things could get better going forward, and as you learn him, things could get better. How much better do you think you might be able to use him next year now that you have this year?
Yeah, I mean, that was some of this conversation we had a couple weeks ago. Just kind of, we talked about looking at some of the stuff that they did in Pittsburgh and kind of talking through some of the things that he's comfortable with in the run game, and just especially early in the offseason of trying to focus on those type of runs and pass game. And, you know, we both were kind of like, we'll be able to take a break, and then when we come back, we can really hone in on some of those things that maybe we missed or we did too much of that he wasn't really comfortable with. You know, it's one of those things that allows us to evaluate kind of what we did as an offense, and then I can go back to him and we can kind of talk through all that stuff when we get back in the spring.
You'll probably, based on what happened at the trading deadline with the buzz that was going on, you'll probably get some teams calling about Jamal just to see if there was any way you'd be interested in trading him. In your opinion, where does he stand here in terms of long-term? Do you see him as a core building block player?
Well, that'll be a great question for Joe tomorrow.
Well, you're here today, so.
Well, I think you guys know where I stand with Jamal. As far as that guy, he has been one of the best players I've ever seen play in person. He's done nothing but work extremely hard, fight through injury, be there for his teammates, make plays when we needed him to. He has been the heart and soul of our defense.
And one of the things that came up earlier this year, about posting fines that people in the building can see. I know you said in the past that's you have a certain way of doing things. But why do you do that, and why haven't you explained to the players why you do that?
We have explained everything to the players.
The players are aware why you post fines internally for everyone to see.
Yeah.
And you know, we will talk to Joe tomorrow, but how will this offseason the relationship work between you? I mean, you guys obviously know each other well, that's pretty well documented, but how will it work between, you have a team, you are going to want certain players, Joe's going to be the guy who's going out and finding those players. I mean, how will the dynamic between you two work when the time comes to the draft and the free agency?
Yeah, it's just a lot of meetings, a lot of talking through all that stuff. I mean, we'll learn as we go. You know, Joe does a really good job. He's way ahead of it. You know, he has the meetings scheduled. He's kind of got everything planned out already. It's just going to be about kind of me and him being able to get together, see how we're going to implement the coaches, what we're going to do, you know, whether it's, you know, Senior Bowl, Combine, draft, free agency, all those type of things. We got a lot of things to go through.
A couple more?
Are you considering any staff changes?
Not at this moment, no.
Are you, considering the inordinate number of injuries, are you guys, as an organization, look into that, like maybe study why, or like ways to?
We're about 2 months ahead of you, Rich. Yeah. I mean, to me, if it was, I wish it was cut and dry and say, hey, we had 15 hamstrings. But I mean, we're having like season-ending type injuries. We've had discussions with the training room, strength and conditioning. Joe and I have had conversations. We've talked to other people, like we're going to keep just deep, you know, taking deeper dives and all that when we meet with the staff as far as, was it practice schedule, training camp, off season? Is it something we're doing during the season? Like, we're combing through everything because, you know, we can't have this happen again.
Could changes in staff be considered?
as far as, we haven't even got there, but I mean, I would say highly unlikely.
And you've said that.
Last one here.
You've said that you're focused on the day-to-day. You don't listen to the criticism or praise. That being said, do you have a Twitter account that monitors what is being said by you?
No, do you?
I do have my, it has my name on it.
All right.
Thank you.